Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocketradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
Good morning. It is time for Coffee Ann here on ON, AM and FM, Wednesday morning, last day in May 31st. Thanks for joining us this morning. My name is Joe Callahan. Across the table from me, Tim Draper from Navigant Credit Union. Good morning, Tim.
Good morning, Joe. How are things?
Things are well. Things are well now that the smoke has gone away.
Yes.
Oh, right.
We'll talk about that in just a minute here. Melissa Smith from the St. Antoine Communities is here. Hi, Melissa.
Good morning.
And once again, we'll mention that John Ward will not be with us for a few weeks as he's doing his rehab work at this time. So we hope John will join us sometime in about August. He'll be back here on the Coffee Ann program. But Melissa, it's time for your first message from the St. Antoine Communities, please.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't know a lot about us, St. Antoine Community is a large long-term care campus. We're located in North Smithfield, and we're on the line of Blackstone, Mass. and Woonsocket. And on our property, we offer an expansive continuum of services that range from assisted living to short and long-term skilled care. We have a state-of-the-art rehab center, a private hospice suite, as well as a large secured memory care unit. And the two buildings on our property are the Villa at St. Antoine, which is our 76-apartment assisted living facility, and the Residence at St. Antoine, which is our 180-bed short and long-term skilled care facility. So if you're presently at a crossroads with your loved one and trying to determine when is the right time to seek more help and support, I encourage you to reach out to me. I'd be happy to walk you through your options. You can reach me at 767-3500 or email me at msmith@santantoine.net.
All right, Melissa, thank you very much. So we want to congratulate John Ward, first of all, because on Monday they had the George Nasuti 5K fun run. John must be doing okay, and his heart must be okay, because he participated in it. And not only that, he beat Senator Roger Pickard and State Rep Steve Casey.
Oh.
They were too busy talking politics in the back.
Well, that's
of
what
the
Dave
line.
said. They're shaking hands.
Do they really post the score, like the times and everything for
They do.
a fundraising 5K like that? Okay.
Yeah, the winner, the first person to cross the line was Ryan Martley of Pasco, came in at 19 minutes and 14 seconds.
All right.
And the first woman came
Good
in
for
at
them.
26 minutes and 6 seconds.
I always laugh. I do 10-minute miles for running.
Oh,
And
you'll
when
be
I
coming
hear
in at
something
40?
like that, I'm like, this is, no. 32.
But there was a
As I've said before,
But
I'm
still.
looking for a 0.5K to run. That's kind of what I want to do. I don't know.
But there was a real struggle for second and third place amongst the women.
Okay.
Kenzie Kennedy of North Providence comes in at 28 minutes, 15.5 seconds, and Angela Lambert of Cumberland comes in at 28 minutes, 15.6 seconds.
Hey, that's not too I'm not too bad
Talk about
then. I mean,
you're not
battle right
bad.
down to the
they're
end.
they're doing great. They're doing 9-minute miles, but
So John is quoted in today's paper. I thought it was a good day for it. Unfortunately, I could only walk, but next year I hope to run it again. Oh, so you
well,
walked
good for
it.
him.
You
He
didn't
used to
run
be
it
a
all.
runner. He has said
Yeah,
on the
he's
air.
done it before. So,
Yeah.
well,
Good for him. Tim too. All of us.
I did. I used
We're
to
gonna
run.
do it together
Hard
as
to
the
believe.
Wednesday morning coffee and team.
We're gonna run in.
We're gonna run it. No, we're gonna run it, Tim. Not run in and then walk.
Oh, really? Well,
we'll,
yeah. You trying to kill me?
we'll
No,
see.
I'm trying to help you.
I know you are.
It
Everybody
is.
I appreciate that.
So it's funny in this day and age, we're in the 21st century. We're in the year 2023.
Okay.
You can get information and news anywhere.
Right here. On this little
Phone, radio, TV, newspaper still.
Just ask Alexa.
It will get news. And you still saw yesterday, hey, there's a lot of smoke. What's going on?
Yeah.
I saw it
You
all,
are
over,
so right.
all over the internet. I'm like, I go, do you not, how do you not know what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No, I didn't know what was going on, and I watched the news every morning. And I even thought
No?
this morning it would be on the news again as like trickle, and I must not have caught the right moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
The
don't know.
weathermen are talking. The weather people are talking about it.
So
But
you
the
missed
school
it?
nurse sending out an alert
No,
to all
okay,
parents of
yeah.
student athletes that there was a ozone alert, and
Yeah.
this is why.
And anyone with asthma, it really affects the people over at St. Antoine.
I know.
So
Well,
there's
I
like a
heard it
lung
from them,
issues.
and then I realized, let's jump on the
Yeah.
DEM, and I ran on to their website and printed up some signs and said, "Everyone stay in." We were supposed to have Tipsy Tuesday outside of the patio yesterday, and we had to cancel it and bring it inside. But yeah, it happened fast. I feel like it went from clear air because I went out
It
running
was.
yesterday
in the
morning,
morning, yeah.
Right.
was completely fine.
Listen,
And then
right around
10,
noontime, it's coming-
11,
it's coming
it felt
in.
a little like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Your
I
clothes smelt a little smoky.
I saw one of those. It's like a weather radar. You know, you can see the rain and the different colors and stuff.
Yeah,
Well,
they
they
have
actually
the
had
smoke.
one, a smoke that detected the smoke. That they showed it just go right across Rhode Island
Yeah.
and up into Massachusetts and stuff. But boy, I went out about 11:30 yesterday morning, and I went outside. And I was like, it
is
looks so hazy. out
Hazy.
here.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
that
And then
too.
it was just, I took a deep breath and was like, actually
Got
coughed a little bit. It was awful, and the smell was bad. I'm like, what? And then I went, oh, this must be the wildfires.
And I felt bad because police departments and fire departments were getting phone calls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Thinking
smell-
there was a
I
local
smell smoke.
fire.
There's a brush fire somewhere, but I don't know where it is. And
But if the brush fire is at the bottom of Nova Scotia, which is where it's supposed to be, at the southern tip of Nova Scotia,
Yeah.
and the
On
wind
the
is
ocean?
blowing down from the north out towards the ocean, you would think that the fire would just blow itself out. It would just kind of blow into the water because there's nothing
Yeah.
else to burn. But apparently, it is burning backwards up into Nova Scotia.
Okay. Well, the winds changed today, which is why we have the sun now.
Beautiful
And
outside
everything
now.
is going out to
Beautiful
sea.
air,
So
which is
Beautiful
why I
air.
asked for the window to
back
be
at-
open.
She did. Melissa came bursting in this
Well, that's
morning
why
and
we
said,
had
"It's
it
hot in
closed.
here. Open the window."
we didn't want the smoke to come in earlier. So that,
I
that
actually
would've been
laughed because
bad.
as soon as you guys started open, by the way, it took 2 men to open the window in the studio.
It's a tough window.
It is a weird
It
location.
took one woman giving the order. It took 2 men to open the
well,
window.
Isn't that just poetic justice?
It's an
One woman
awkward-
giving the order to 2
It's an
men.
awkward way to get to the window.
As soon as you opened it, though, did you notice? Of course,
Oh,
a
it's
trash,
beautiful.
truck
Oh,
came
trash
by,
truck.
and
Of
I
course,
thought
yeah.
we're going on the air.
I'm
The
waiting
trash
for
truck
the
comes by.
motorcycles to rush on by too.
Oh, I know.
Okay, so blame me. It's fine.
It's cool. It's perfect in here now. Actually,
So
very nice.
we talked about this a little earlier today. Just another quick little public service announcement in case you're heading down that way. Tim, I don't know if you're heading down to a branch on you got a Navigant branch in North Providence, don't you? On
yeah,
Mineral
Smith
Spring.
Street. Well, Smith Street.
Oh, you're close.
Close.
They're closing
Yep.
down.
Yeah, 'cause of the
parts
movie,
of Mineral Spring Avenue because they're filming Good Burger 2.
That ought to provide no traffic challenge at all. 'cause
well, they're
Mineral Spring is
they're-
such a rural road.
so less traveled, yeah. But they're detouring people off Mineral Spring,
Yeah.
to go around it, and they're closing it down twice, like 11 and 1,
Yeah.
and then they'll break for lunch, and then they're coming back like at 3:45 or so to
Keenan-
4 or whatever. I'm
Keenan
like,
Thompson's got to drive that funky-looking Cadillac that they have in the movie, so it's got to come down the road somewhere.
All right, so just be aware that that's what's happening on Mineral Spring Avenue today. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow or whatever. It's a beautiful day for filming.
Yeah, yeah, they've actually had some great weather for filming. over
So
there.
and I was not invited to be in the movie either. So
Not even as an extra.
I just want to sit. I'll just sit down in the booth and pretend to eat a burger. I can do
do that well.
So, yeah,
If they gave you a real burger, that would be even better.
that would be perfect.
Right.
Of course, you got to do it again. Well, here's another burger. Got to have continuity.
That's true.
All right. So yesterday, was it yesterday or over the weekend? We had it was yesterday. A man drowned in Westerly. He was at Mesquamaket State Beach because because of the undertow.
Really?
Because he was only standing in knee deep water.
Really? Wow.
Yes, and it still got a hold of him and dragged him down. And as what may happen is they you panic
You do.
when you're like that, and they tell you, well, just ride it out and then swim to the side and everything's gonna
Right.
be fine. But when you're being pulled out
Listen.
out to the ocean, you panic.
All I know is that I am not going in the water right now. It is cold.
No, it's cold. But I wonder too if a little bit, when I went to Outer Banks last summer, a lot of the
This
it's
isn't
not even
happen
just
on
the
Sunday, by the way.
tide. It's more to do with like the way the sandbars drop off, and it makes you wonder if he got pulled a little forward and then hit one of those like
Right, maybe
dips
went
in
down.
the sand
Yeah.
and
Well,
maybe
he
just.
did say he lost his footing
Well, there you go.
in the undertow.
Because if you've ever even swam out at Block Island, it's the same way. It's very like there's a lot of shelves.
Yeah.
There's big sand shelves that you can easily drop into, and if the tide pulls you at the right time,
Right.
you're toast.
So there's that accident that happened on Sunday, and then yesterday up in Boston, a man, I guess he was running. He was late. He was trying to get on one of the trains. He was trying to get on the Green Line, and now the Green Line starts pulling away because the doors are closed. And now we move on. So he got mad, and he kicked the train.
Yeah.
And when he kicked the train, he lost his footing and fell down into the tracks, and it ran over him, and it killed him. I'm
Where
like,
was
"What?"
that?
In Boston.
Oh God!
I think it was at North Station or somewhere near there.
Such short fuses.
Yeah, especially the Green Line. There's always within 5 minutes. There's another
Another
train
one.
coming.
There'd be another one behind it.
Oh,
Right.
I'm sorry you're 5 minutes late, but but
That's
you don't
sad.
think it's an emotional thing. Oh, I was just here and I'm so close and And so he went to kick the train, and then whoops, you slip out, and then stuff happens.
Don't kick the train. That's the lesson in that one.
That is the lesson in that. So,
Take a breath.
Kick the train.
don't
Right.
kick the
Take a
train.
breath.
There's another train coming. There's
Yep.
always another
If you're
train
at
coming.
that point where you can't take a breath, get some help.
Right.
Because
one,
that's sad.
It's not going to do anything to the train, and it's going to hurt your foot,
Right. Or worse yet, it'll kill you.
or it could kill you. So, and so that's what happened there. The other thing that happened yesterday, there was a plane, a Southwest plane, took off from Green Airport and made it all the way to Hartford.
Yeah.
A 10-minute flight.
In-flight incident, they said.
Was it an incident? I thought it was emergency landing. Southwest, if you're headed to Baltimore, made a safe emergency landing last night at Bradley Airport. That's in Hartford, due to a mechanical problem.
Oh, okay.
Southwest made other arrangements to get the 146 passengers. That's good. That's a full flight.
Yeah.
Going down there to Baltimore to get them down there. So
I bet those passengers were happy.
they probably get out and kick the plane.
Yeah.
Stupid plane.
Wait a minute. What time was that flight?
They said last night.
Okay.
So I don't have the exact time.
Melissa's like, oh my
Was
God,
that-
I
No,
know
my
people going-
Are you
sister was
flying to
taking one
Baltimore?
at like 4 this morning, and
Oh.
I for a minute was like, and it to Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, wait a minute.
Yeah. Nope.
Okay, it was last night,
Yes.
so I shouldn't text her right now and say,
No,
"Are you okay?"
She's
I'm
okay.
sure she's okay.
She's
All
fine.
right.
It didn't
Oh,
happen
even
this
that they were
morning.
okay because they landed, and that's
Yes,
fine.
they
Okay.
made it on to Baltimore. Wonder how long it took to. You ever have to wait around in an airport when your flight, the plane's sitting right there, and they come on and say, "Well, that one's we got to go. That one's going to go into maintenance." So we're waiting for another plane to come in.
Yeah. Well,
When's it going to get here? Well, when it gets here.
I would prefer that versus watching
yes.
them work on the plane that
Yeah.
you just got taken off of, and then having to reboard that plane because that's happened to me before. So I think I would rather get the replacement.
Okay.
my story about that is way too long to get on the air.
Oh,
It
okay.
was in Scottsdale this year, and it was just painful.
I saw something online. It was supposed to be. It was a flight attendant or a former flight attendant. And you know how when you get on airplanes now, they hand you the wet wipes thing.
They do? My
They
wife
do.
usually brings hers.
I
in
was
her
gonna say,
pocketbook,
I
and
bring
then
mine,
she
but-
makes me
Oh,
sanitize
no,
the entire area. That
They
I'm
hand
sitting
them
in.
to you. A
Oh
little
no,
packet.
I have
Oh, I
not
haven't
been
seen that
handed
yet. I
that.
haven't
Oh,
experienced
sure.
that.
What
I've
airline
experienced
is that?
all of them. What have I
you've
flown
traveled all of
recently?
them.
Well, not the ones I've traveled recently.
I don't buy the first class tickets, so I don't get on right away. I'm
No,
usually the last one on the plane in steerage.
Southwest,
He's so worldly, isn't he?
Southwest American, United. Yeah, as you get on the plane, so it's for everybody, not just the first class people.
Oh,
Anyway,
there we go.
the point of the video was don't wipe down the tray area because that's already been done. When they say they're cleaning the plane, but what they haven't cleaned. If you have the window seat, do the window. The window never gets clean. And yeah, how many people do you see leaning
that's
their
an
head
interesting point.
against the
Never
against
thought
the
of that.
against the? How many people do you see leaning their head against the window?
I'm one of them.
There you go. So
What
they
am
say
I
clean.
missing? They're acknowledging that no one cleans the window, but they're taking the time to wipe the trays, but they can't just give a quick swipe to that area, so they
Right.
want you to do it?
Well, they're not going to tell you. The flight attendant on the plane is not going to tell you to wipe the window. This is someone that has worked at an airline,
Okay.
letting you know, do not wipe the window because that doesn't normally get cleaned.
Okay.
Well, more importantly, don't lick the window.
Well,
Don't lick the window.
certainly, but I never feel like even if they supposedly clean the trays, I don't really feel like
They
the
say
trays are
they-
clean. So
basically
that's why,
the video
Tim, like
said-
your wife, I
Right.
bring my own and I do my own.
The video said they do clean the trays and basically they pick up the trash that's been left behind.
Yeah.
And that's sad.
That's
People
on the
should
floor.
take their trash out. Gosh.
But I still find trash in the little tray, in the little
Always.
compartment in front of me.
It's usually my wife
another
that I used to
Snickers
clean the
wrapper.
trays. That's
That's
put
right.
in there.
And they were
Melissa just gave
and
me
they
the
were
look like,
No,
"That's
it's
you."
so true. No,
they were
that's
very
what I do,
adamant.
too.
And they were very adamant in the video because some people like to take their shoes off on airplanes.
That's so gross too.
Yeah.
Do not go to the bathroom on an airplane without shoes on.
Oh, right. Well, it's turbulence.
Well, they said that.
That's not what I was thinking
No,
at all.
no.
I was thinking hygiene.
It's a
but
hygiene.
Yeah.
It's a hygiene.
It is
problem.
hygiene, but
They said
turbulence.
because that water on the floor
Yeah.
is not water.
Right. From turbulence. Ever try
Oh
to do
my
that
God.
in an airplane when you get a big rough patch? It's
Well,
not
that
easy.
is a problem.
So wait a minute. Can we analyze what you said?
Yeah. We can.
Shoes
Analyze
off.
it.
Shoes off means for you, yeah, because of the turbulence. Like I'd be worried about. So in terms of they won't have proper grip or
No.
footing
I
on
mean,
their feet, or
I mean,
going into
because the guy
bathroom
before
and
me
the
that was in the bathroom and then the turbulence happened. The aim is not as good as it is when there's clear air.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you need to put shoes on, because of Joe's point.
Well, that's right, because there's splashing involved.
There is. There's
And it's-
lack of aim.
It's probably not water, is what they said. So
Oh,
beware,
boy.
something to beware of. All right, we're going to go away from this now. But
Okay.
Melissa, time for a second message
We were
from
on
the
a
St.
roll.
Antoine
Honestly,
communities.
like
Almost don't want to go to
you
the commercial.
probably hit about 5 headlines in the first 10 minutes of the show.
Pretty
This is a
good,
good
huh?
day, Joe.
Thank you.
This is a good day. All right, so I am just going to do another announcement about an event that we have coming up. It's not really our event, it's actually the Alzheimer's Association's National Day event. On June 21st, it's technically the longest day of the year. And so it's a day that they want to bring attention to those that are suffering from Alzheimer's disease or caring for someone with Alzheimer's disease and just helping to bring awareness to their personal struggle. And so what we've decided to do is help them in bringing a little attention to that day. And we are going to be selling purple pinwheels for $5 a piece from now. Actually, they're out at our reception desks in both buildings, the Villa at St. Antoine and St. Antoine residence. They are there right now, available for you to write a little message on the pinwheel, and then we'll assemble them. And on the longest day, which is the 21st, we will be displaying them on our walking path, which actually is right between both of our buildings and our property, and having a little mini celebration. So all the funds raised from this event, every pinwheel that is sold, all of it is going to go to the Rhode Island Chapter Alzheimer's Association. So we're hoping to raise about $2,000. I've bought plenty of pinwheels. And everyone keeps saying, what do you mean assemble? Well, I bought pinwheel kits. So really to be able so that you can easily write the message on a
there's
flat
work involved
pinwheel.
in this fun.
There is. Actually, I'm going to rope my kids into assembling them. They just don't know it yet. Because
They do now.
School's ending the 15th. These have to be done for the 21st. So their first few days of
perfect time.
summer vacation will be assembling hopefully 300-400 pinwheels. But anyway, so spread the word. And if you're looking to help us raise funds for this wonderful event, you can reach out to me at 401-767-3500, or you can stop by one of our offices, or both of our receptionist desks at either building. One's at 400 Mendon Road, one's at 10 Rhodes Ave in North Smithfield. Thank you.
Be sure to yell at her to open up the window.
Tell her it's hot.
It's hot in
So
there.
true.
Gosh, it's
So
stuffy.
true.
All right, more coffee ads coming up. Comments and questions can be called in 766-1240. Got a comment to get to when we come back.
You know, when you're paying the right price for protection, you just know it. It's that warm, fuzzy, totally secure feeling, knowing that you're not only getting great coverage, but you're also not paying too much for it. And when it comes to your insurance, there's no one better at getting the right price for your protection than Allstate agents Kara and Celeste Benjamin, because they know when it comes to your bank account, every penny counts towards something bigger, something better. Like a nicer car, that home update you've been dreaming of, or a phone that's fresh out of the box. Those little or big things that we work so hard for. And Kara and Celeste Benjamin want to help you work a little less by getting you the coverage you need and the savings you deserve when you switch to Allstate. Contact Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. One agency, 2 locations in North Smithfield and Bellingham. 765-5000 for a free quote today. Allstate, you're in good hands. And you're in good hands with Kara and Celeste Benjamin at the Benjamin Agency. Savings vary based on the average annual savings reported by new auto customers surveyed in 2019 who switched to Allstate.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee in Pawtucket. They're a 62-year-old family business that roasts all its coffee right here in Rhode Island. Founded originally as Excellent Coffee Company, they provide great coffee to food service establishments throughout New England.
We're local and live at 99.5.
All right, it is Coffee In here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us this morning. Tim Draper is here. Hi, Tim.
Hey, Joe.
And Melissa Smith is here as well.
Good morning.
And we got a note that was called in, and you can call in one as well, 766-1240. It just says, how to make a buck. A couple states, they've accepted the sales of a reusable plastic automatic dishwashable container by, I guess, the inventor. It's sturdy and being used in certain restaurants for a buck with your order. Okay.
What?
Don't really understand it all. So.
Oh, wait a minute.
When you
Maybe
go to,
they're
like, the Chinese
connecting.
restaurants and you get the plastic.
Are they connecting to your story about the wipes on the plane that now when you sit down in a
No, I don't
restaurant,
think-
you're going to be given this kit
maybe.
and wash your own dishes?
Yes.
I don't know. I'm trying to.
Reusable plastic automatic dishwashable container.
Well, I
Maybe
get those all the
they're
time.
promoting
Yeah.
that, so
Well,
we'd read it on the air.
I think it's.
Oh, well.
We recycle all those whenever we get them from the restaurants.
Yeah.
they're just nice to have. Pack lunches in them, bring them to work.
Oh, we're talking about the containers, the
I think
to-go
so.
containers?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. It's sturdy and can be used in certain restaurants.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's a great idea.
Okay.
Instead of getting a styrofoam container to take your food
Yeah.
home in, you get one of these
That's
plastic,
sturdy.
like a almost I want to say Ziploc, but
And I
that's
guess,
not the right
and I
thing,
guess,
but-
I think they're adding $1 to your
If you have it
restaurant
to
order
go.
if you're taking it home.
I will tell you,
instead
they
of
are
carrying.
expensive. I have learned that from our chef. We have like a to-go option where you can order like off a special menu. Staff can, which is super convenient and a really nice service that is provided to the employees at St. Antoine. But they are expensive. Those containers are very expensive. So
Okay.
I guess,
A buck
but can't
might
you
be a
just
deal.
bury it into the
deal.
cost? I don't
And
understand.
then you get to keep it.
Yeah,
So-
I mean everything else
so
is just
there you go.
expensive. Just
Lucky
keep
Dog
burying stuff
Tavern
the-
in North Smithfield has figured out the best to-go containers. Have you
what's
ever
that?
ordered to-go from them before? Have you ever
No,
eaten there
but
before?
Does it keep your French fries not
Yes.
steamed up? And, yeah,
I-
see, that's
I mean-
good.
Mush.
Yeah.
Everything we've ordered from them, we went to them quite a bit during the pandemic, so I'm giving a special little shout out to them. Piping hot. Every pasta dish, every steak, potato, vegetable, anything we ordered in the pandemic and even now, just not as often.
Yeah.
Piping hot. They
Yeah.
figured out the right containers. French
it
fries
in.
were never soggy.
Right.
Oh, great.
I bet they weren't cheap though. That's the
And
problem.
they
I bet
have the
those
most
containers
amazing
weren't
rack
cheap.
of ribs, and they even had like an oversized container that fit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
All right, so on
Enough about
to
this.
on to other things. That man down in Fall River who allegedly stabbed and shot his ex-girlfriend at the car wash.
Yeah.
All right. He's in prison with being held without bail.
So
He's pled not guilty.
Yeah, he's been arrested, I think, or the police have visited him like 40 times
Yeah.
for stabbing the same woman, right?
Is that how
What?
many?
Yeah,
yeah, well,
over the
he's-
years.
He does have. He is
He's
also
got a
facing
lengthy record.
a restraining order violation as well. And
So when does this stuff work? Tell me when this works.
Restraining orders?
When is society going to deal with that guy? He clearly is unstable.
Well, now they are, I guess.
Well, okay,
but,
so we
'cause
let him
he's-
kill somebody before he
39
did it.
times. The 40th
Right, we're gonna do
was
another 40th.
Well,
was the
that's
time.
just
Well,
so
we have
frustrating.
to close the barn door, Tim, because
Well,
the horses have gotten out.
Man, and I feel bad because the
You
woman
never
was
heard that
probably in a
expression
Well, no, I'm
trapped in
actually
a situation, or she felt trapped in a situation,
Yeah.
so she didn't leave because clearly she should have, but she
Yeah.
probably didn't feel like she could.
So now this is a good example of let's just talk about like shootings in America.
All right.
This guy, let's say now, if he wasn't caught just now or he wasn't prosecuted properly, let's say he walks into a grocery store and shoots a bunch of people up and it's national headline. And then they look into the depths of what we just became aware of.
Right.
He's been arrested or he's been charged 40 times for assaulting someone and never put in jail,
Nothing
never
happens.
locked up.
Yeah.
Yep.
So of course you can't be shocked when he has like a bigger moment. So it's just going to keep growing in volume. So put him behind bars.
Right.
What's the problem?
Well, the problem is we're going to run out of bars. That's the problem.
Right. We have
Yeah.
no room.
So he goes back to court in June. He's pled not guilty to the killing, but that's when his next court appearance is, the end of June.
Hopefully,
June
stay
29th.
in jail until
He is held without bail. So
Can you
'cause this
imagine
is
the
pretty
family
bad.
of this woman too?
Yeah.
Because, like you said, she
She's
felt
got
like
two
she
kids.
couldn't leave.
Does she
She's
have
got
two
two
kids?
kids.
Oh my God.
Well, it is an ex-girlfriend, so maybe she wasn't living with him at the time. Or
Well, I
whatever.
think that she got the restraining order.
Yeah.
Right. And he just
and those work so well.
yeah those work. Those are like an invisible fence.
Yep. So
Well, and it goes back to there's not enough officers.
Right,
There's not enough.
right.
There's all these
It-
layers
it's-
that get involved.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Society is in such tough shape.
And so now that those kids hurt themselves down in Newport, they climbed up on the structure and they crashed through the roof. Well, now we're going to take down the building.
Right.
Once again,
The
close
horse-
the barn
yep,
doors because
yep,
the horses have
exactly.
escaped.
Exactly. But they're kids.
I know.
Kids are
And
going to do that.
we talked
stuff.
about that yesterday. They're 15 and 16-year-old
Right.
boys.
Right.
I go.
Yeah.
They said, well, they put up a fence around there. Well, perfect. They love climbing
we
fences.
love climbing fences. Exactly. I can't tell you the number of stupid things I did when I was
That's
14
right.
and
Oh
15
my
years old.
gosh.
And you never think, hey, maybe the
roof's
roof's
gonna
going to
fall
collapse.
in.
You never think that.
No.
But let's climb to the roof. That'll be great. This will be super.
Those are lessons in growing up. The
Okay,
kid
so a
probably
little
won't
bit of
do
me
that
is
anymore.
like, wow, I'm so sorry anybody got hurt.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
let me preface that. But 15-year-old boys doing something other than hanging out in their basement on video games. They
Right.
were they were
Well, okay.
they
You
were
wanted
living
to go
the
outside.
good weather. They were living the long weekend. They were
were
outside. They were
exploring.
adventuring
Right.
like into
Right.
abandoned building and curious and want to be spooked. I mean, that's old school. That's the 80s. Bring
That's
it back.
what you want.
A little
Bring that
bit,
back.
but just don't climb on a roof.
Well, yeah, try not to.
Try going
to
through the
avoid that.
window on the first
But
floor.
the roof was kind of tall. I don't know how they get up there. That was pretty good. Scaled that.
I
Scale
don't
the
know
roof.
either. I'm glad
Yeah,
they're okay
that's
though,
right.
because
Yeah.
that's really what's most important. Right, they're okay.
But they
Yeah,
got to
so-
figure. They got to
Little
figure out
minor
how to
injuries.
tear down this building because it's historically significant.
Yeah, and the historical society now wants to go in there, wants to preserve it.
We got to
So they
go
want
through
video
they got to go through the
cameras and-
preservation process
Right,
first,
right.
before we tear it down.
Right. Well, okay. So there we go.
It's funny. There's a comedian out there. Feel free to look him up. His name is Jeff Allen.
I've heard him.
And he's very funny, but he talks about kids that don't do. Kids need to do stupid things.
Right.
That's how they learn.
It's true.
You let them touch the stove once. Hey, it's hot. Okay, you never do that again.
Right.
And we don't. Parents don't let them do that. And how they. They go down a slide. The slides are plastic now. They're not
Right.
the scorching
Then a
metal
scorching
that we
metal,
had.
sheet metal that you had when you went down at 1,000 degrees in your shorts.
And he talked about the time when he was a dumb kid. Went to like the milkman and asked for like dry ice.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah, the
what
milkman
he-
said, "Sure,
Sure.
Here you go."
And you put it in a jar and watch it blow up. And there's his mother picking shards of
Shuts
glass.
glass out of his forehead.
forehead.
What'd you do?
I put
Put
one.
us-
Well, that was stupid.
Dry ice in the car. That's stupid.
You gonna do it again? No. Well, because
There
that's
you
how
go.
you learn. you don't do that.
The good old days, Joe. The good old days.
Oh, that was funny.
He's a very funny comedian too.
He is very funny. Talking about his kids and his wife and like that.
wife, Tammy.
It's Tammy. That's
Tammy,
right.
his
Yeah. How his wife talks about she never scolds him. She always asks him questions.
Oh.
And
Good strategy.
Yeah. Coming to the bedroom. Is that your underwear on the floor? Well, it better be. I'm gonna have some questions. That was pretty funny. All right, Gina Raimondo was in town.
Yes, she was.
Over the weekend. She gave the
At Brown.
commencement address over at Brown University, and I just find it odd that her part of her speech was, "You should all stay in Rhode Island."
Yeah.
Actually, I thought
there's-
that was a good message.
There's a very
But then she left.
right. There's a very small percentage of students from Brown that
That
come
are from Rhode Island. That's right. We're all from out of state.
Do that speech at URI or CCRI
Or- yeah.
or Bryant or,
Or
one
or
of those
Rick.
places.
Yeah.
Right,
No.
Rick.
They're
But
all the Rhode Island
She was
students.
specifically targeting the physicians that were
she?
graduating.
Yeah.
I think so, because healthcare in Rhode Island, I will just say I
Well,
work
there's a
regularly
there's a
with.
shortage of doctors, right?
Correct. I work regularly with Dr. Garage, who is practicing out of Cumberland, and he often brings his students by. I love him. He's a sweet little man. And his students will come by, and I'll spend 2 hours with them talking about like all the different levels of care and senior services, from community to long-term, et cetera. And they're great. They're wonderful. And at the end, I always am quick to say, "Okay, what are you doing after graduation?" "Oh, I'm going back to Texas." "Oh, I'm going back to California." And I'm like, why not stay here? He's looking for a retirement option. The poor man has not
why
been
you're
able to
with him.
retire. So I sit with them for another 10 minutes trying to convince them for all the reasons they should stay, and they don't want to stay. The hospitals in Rhode Island are just not
My wife,
modern enough, and they're not.
My wife just had to change a primary care doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and we go to someone in Massachusetts, up in
Mm-hmm.
Plainville, talking to the doctor, and she drives to Plainville every day from Scituate
Wow.
Yeah. Ouch.
because
That's a commitment.
It is, and because it's better in Massachusetts.
Working in Rhode
Yeah.
Island.
I don't know if it's the insurance, if it's or what, or the pay you get from the
My brother and
insurance
sister-in-law
companies, or what.
Whine about the insurance company all the time. They
Oh.
are tough.
Yeah.
Instability. I mean, I came from Care New England. I came from Memorial Hospital, and then we got merged with Care New England and taken over by them. And I look back, and my former colleagues, everyone's still struggling with leadership. I mean, there's just ongoing. And then you got, of course, the pandemic happened. You got staff shortages. You got physician shortages. You got nurse shortages. Yeah, I don't know how we get out of it, but it's a small state. At some point, I think Massachusetts should just swallow us up, and we should just be.
I said that years ago. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're going to draw a horizontal line.
Yep.
Yeah.
This half goes to Connecticut.
Right.
That goes to
the
Massachusetts.
right below Providence. And everything to the north, we become Massachusetts. Everything below goes to Connecticut. Block Island goes to Long Island.
I know.
There we go.
I mean, it's the business
We're
model
all
that
set.
no one ever likes. It's almost like small business, small local business gets bought out by big business to consolidate resources and spread some of their costs and expenses to a higher tier. I mean, honestly, aren't we at that point?
Yeah.
We talk about that a little bit with Central Falls. I don't know, a few times on the air even. It's
Yeah.
like, when are they going to merge finally with Pawtucket or
Right.
with Cumberland or Lincoln? Because they can't sustain.
How can they? They're
Right.
So
So
small.
aren't we
It's
talking
'cause
about Rhode
there-
Island in the
there's
same way?
Periods of time where they actually have figured out how to sustain themselves until something happens that they now find themselves behind the 8 ball.
Right.
And so it becomes a real challenge. And we live in Rhode Island, and everybody has a fiefdom. Nobody wants to give up their power. Nobody wants to change anything. Everybody wants the silos exactly the way they were. No such thing as regionalization, because that would make more sense than anything.
I always heard that with the school systems, there's 39 towns, 39 superintendents.
Yeah. Yeah.
They should merge, but who's going to give up?
100%.
Who's going to give up their jobs?
Right. Well, that's the thing. Nobody
Right.
wants to give up their...
And I say
California, their school systems are larger than the state of Rhode Island. It's one
Right.
superintendent.
our graduating class, or I'll use my daughter's graduating class, is like 145 kids. You know, and there's a woman in town that I'm good friends with. Her kids go to school in our town as well, but she works in Cranston East, and her husband works for Cranston West. And they talk about how large a graduating class they have.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's too big, but you know, I have a lot of family in Smithfield. Cumberland's bigger, so I won't go near them. But even Smithfield and North Smithfield consolidating would make more sense. You know, I mean, literally. I
Right.
don't understand at this point with our town is going through so many
Exeter, West Greenwich did
issues,
it.
but
Yeah. I think the towns that could make the most sense to merge probably don't want to for some financial reasons. I mean, like schools are let's use
Schools
schools
are a
as
mess.
an example. You got to replace a high school. Well, there's one town that's really successful, one town that's could use the merger.
Yep.
Well, the guy that's successful doesn't want to
Doesn't
merge
want.
with the other one because they're going to take on this whole school debt that they're going to have to deal with.
I mean, it's sort of already happening in a weird way. Like, there's a lot of, even in our town in North Smithfield, there's a lot of
Right.
sports programs now that have merged with Burrville or with Mount.
Yeah.
Just because there's not enough players. So, at what point do you just start to say field usage and all that kind of stuff?
It starts with on a really micro level, and it's the fire districts in these
Yeah,
rural
that too.
communities. Like the town of Cumberland finally merged several years ago. Their fire department.
Yeah, I
we had
mean,
4 fire
I
districts.
remember those
Stupid.
days. It was.
And they needed to merge. Now, of course, I have a whole set of thoughts about what happened after that merger.
Yeah.
But the reality is that was the right thing to do, to merge and become one public safety.
But you had 4 fire chiefs.
They had 4 fire chiefs paying 4 salaries.
Who wants to retire?
Right, but their
Who wants to
benefits were all different amongst the
Yeah,
firefighters.
yeah.
Some firefighters in one part of town got paid more than the other, but one got lifetime health insurance, the other ones didn't. I mean,
Yeah, it was weird.
It's crazy. So you got to merge them together.
All right, we're going to
So
take a break
true.
on the Coffee and program right now. It's time for the forecast being brought to you by the Massachusetts Office of Travel and Tourism.
Sunny skies with a high near 80 and a calm wind, but widespread haze during the day. Tonight, mostly clear, overnight low of 52. Thursday's weather sunny and 89. Friday got a 30% chance of a shower late in the day, sunny, high of 92. A good 60% chance of showers and maybe even a thunderstorm overnight on Friday night. Saturday, a 50% chance of more showers, mostly cloudy and 60 and breezy. Sunday, sunshine and 63. Monday, partly sunny and 72, and next Tuesday, partly sunny and 72 again.
Currently outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio on the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street with sunny skies, we have 63 degrees. Explore the many hidden gems of Massachusetts and discover that the best things in life aren't things, they're moments. Go to visitma.com for your chance to win a getaway, including hotel dinners and outdoor activities.
Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal real special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogi with onions and dirty sour cream, or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported goods. We're open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays from 9 to 6, Wednesdays 9 to 5, and Saturdays 8 to 5. Follow us on Facebook to learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street in Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery and Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Preventative care is the hallmark of a good dental program, and Dr. Jeffrey Dodge takes a high priority on patient care, as well as patient education by taking the time to listen and answer questions. You'll never feel rushed. Dr. Dodge also offers restorative care, including fillings, crowns, and bridges. They feature an in-house laboratory, making it easy and convenient for the patient. Check their website for more information about their caring philosophy and to learn more about dental updates and new technology. drjedodge.com. Dr. Jeffrey Dodge, your family dentist at 1438 Park Avenue, Park Square, 762-3044.
Here's what's coming up next. Greatest Hits USA.
Hey, this is Chuck Matthews on Greatest Hits USA, and coming up this weekend, we're going to answer the following questions. Who got the idea for a song while riding his motorcycle? What singer worked at a car assembly plant? And who had the #1 record this week in 1969? Find out. Turn it up this weekend right here.
Greatest Hits USA.
Coffee and on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper. And Tim, time for your first message from Navigant Credit Union.
Joe, I'm going to show a little love out here for an organization that the credit union is real passionate about, and that is Connecting for Children and Families right here in Woonsocket. There's a grand opening party that's happening this weekend, and we just want to make everybody aware of that. It is at 719 Front Street in Woonsocket. It's their new building that they recently purchased and renovated. It's on Saturday afternoon from 12 to 4. There's going to be lots of fun. It's open to the public. There's going to be music, vendors, games, activities, food trucks, raffle prizes. It is a big fundraiser. So if you're going and you can, show them a little love, help them out. There'll be some donation bins there during the day. There's some raffle prizes that they're going to have. It sounds like a great event. Unfortunately, I'm going to be away this weekend because I would have loved to have gone, but it is also convenient because there's going to be a dunk tank, which I now do not have to be in. So that's always going to be a lot of fun. But I think our CFO's going in it, so that ought to be great. And our chief risk officer, our attorney. So if you feel like dunking some folks from Navigant, head over to that the Front Street Family Center for CCF and enjoy the grand opening party.
All righty. They'll be on after Coffee and today as well, too.
Are they? Community Care Alliance?
Yeah, yes. Wendy Pyrus will be here. So Tim wanted to bring up about the great things, the unfortunate thing that happened at Kirkbrae Country Club, and the fire in the kitchen, but the stuff they're doing to help out the weddings that all had to be reshuffled, basically.
Right. So I'm a marketing guy from way back when, and I always find people don't handle crises in the best light. Lots of people are just, they don't want to talk about it. Hey, let's not face the issues. Let's just try to do this on the down low, and because it's a bad thing and whatever. But I got to tell you, seeing what happened at Kirkbrae was sad to begin with, and knowing that it was the beginning of their busy season with weddings and stuff. To see the stuff and to hear the stories about what they're doing for the people who had weddings planned for Kirkbrae, it's stunning. They're out. Their staff is actually calling venues throughout the region to try and find places for these weddings to take place. And I think right now they're batting 1,000. I don't think they've missed a wedding unless somebody said they don't want to have it. I think they've found venues for each of these people, and that can't be easy given this time of the year.
Right.
But not only are they just securing the venue, they're sending a member of their staff to the wedding to make sure that the wedding goes off the way that Kirkbrae would have had it go off. In some cases, they're sending decorations that were planned to be there. They're shipping them to these venues. I know of one that went up to Pleasant Valley up in Sutton last weekend. They are, in one case, I think they sent the executive chef from Kirkbrae to the venue to help make sure that to go cook and make sure that the food is as Kirkbrae-like as the bride and groom wanted it to be. They communicate every single day. I get a message from the president of the club every single day who just basically says, this is what's going on. We're sorry that you can't access the locker rooms, but these are the dates that you can. You have to enter this way. You have to sign in. The fire department's got it locked down. It's all destroyed, so you got to go get your stuff and get it out. And these are the times you're going to do it. But then they've opened up the area across the street for the membership. So it's not inexpensive to belong to a country club, right? So even if you're in the social membership area, which is a little less expensive, you're losing all those great services that you might lose. But these guys are like trying to make sure everything is back. The pool area is up and running, is my understanding. The golf course hasn't closed or missed a beat. They've got restrooms around the course that you can go to, so there's always a bathroom available. They have outdoor grills. I think they're going to open the bar area this weekend. So they are really, and they're working hard in the kitchen to try and redesign the kitchen. They're trying to make sure that the ballroom's redone, and they just redid the ballroom a year ago.
It's brand new.
On the bright side, they've got plans. They can go, here, just redo this.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. The rug's probably still in stock.
Yeah,
the wallpaper's probably still in stock.
Exactly. So they really had an opportunity. You could have just crawled into your shell and said, "This is awful. Woe is me." Not those guys, man. But they are a study in crisis communication, how they're handling it, and how they're doing it, and they're owning it, and they're like, "We're gonna make this right.
Yeah.
We're gonna make everything happen."
I feel like I gotta tell you, maybe a little bit. I feel like everything surrounds the pandemic at this point in every conversation, but that's one of the positives that came out of the pandemic is how organizations, you've talked about it, Navigant. Obviously, I've come up from a healthcare perspective. Even Kirkbrae, we've had our golf tournament there seamlessly for the last few years, even through the pandemic and all the regulations and everything, you've had to learn how to be transparent and communicate. And I think all of those
Flexible.
skills probably came into play with this, right?
Right.
Oh God, another crisis. But you know what? We just got through 3
We're done.
years
We
of
got it.
figuring this out
Right.
and operating a business smoothly, even during the most challenging times. So I'm sure they just locked back into what they already knew and how, like, okay, here's our master plan from 2 years ago. Let's go ahead and re-execute it, but just substitute out pandemic for fire,
Right.
and we'll just
Right.
go back to that. I mean, it's crazy, but I have to agree. We have our golf tournament in August, like I said, for the last 24 years. This is our 25th golf tournament, and 24th golf tournament. Sorry, and I mean, they're just incredibly transparent at this point, assuring us that nope, I think everything's going to be fine by August. We're not worried about it, even if something were to not be done in time indoors, we will pivot. We will figure it outdoors for you,
Yeah.
which we've done for the last 3 years with
Right.
the pandemic. So I think I have to agree with you. It's been pretty remarkable. I do feel bad for the brides,
Yeah.
but I'm hoping they have a cheery approach to this and just
Right.
appreciative of their effort, and also the fact that they're making a memory. Okay, like how many brides can
Right.
say
That's right.
my
That's
venue
right.
Country
burned
club
down?
the day before my wedding.
and or some of them may consider it like maybe
Good
a
luck.
sign, and this is an out.
Right.
Okay, you know what? Don't worry about relocating me. Just go ahead and give me,
my
75%
deposit
back
back,
of my
yeah.
deposit, and I'm gonna just wash my hands. Right.
Now,
So who knows?
Kirkbrae's got insurance to do the rebuilding of the kitchen, but they're laying out cash, I would say, to go to these other venues. I mean,
Probably.
Pleasant Valley's not going to do this for free.
No, I'm sure that they're taking whatever the money that they were going to get from their wedding at their venue and just
shift it
shifting
over there.
Right. And you're right. I don't know what the model is for how do you make the adjustment and do the compensation. Some places could be less expensive. So
Yeah.
Kirk may refund the brides and the wedding parties and then move the event. But what I also find heartwarming is the community of these country clubs around the Alpines,
That are helping out.
the Lincoln Country Club.
Yeah.
They're helping. They're like my understanding, and I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, but my understanding is they're reaching out to Kirk saying, "Listen,
These are my
are
open
my
dates.
dates. These are my open dates.
Yeah.
What do you guys need, and we'll help you out."
No, that's great.
You also have a ton of staff, right? You've got wait staff, you've got the wedding planners,
Right.
people that you don't want displaced for the next few months. You want to
Yeah.
make
Right.
sure that they still get paid and stay with you
Right.
at Kirkbrae versus panicking and saying, okay, now I have no job for the next few months. What am I going
Right.
to do? So I feel like there's that built in as well. I'm sure they're sending some staff, like you said, the chef, but
Yep.
maybe even wait staff
But even
plugging
if-
into a different slot.
Right. I mean, if you open the bar area, and you're going to need. You still need people to tend the bar,
Yeah.
right? You still need people to cook at the grill outside if you're going to do hamburgers and hot dogs for the next couple months, or
Right.
chicken or whatever fancy things you're going to do on the grill. So yeah, I mean that's a great point too. I think that they've done a good job at shifting some people around, making sure that everybody's got something
Right.
going on.
Because
So-
if I'm Alpine, as an example, because they're busy too this
Right,
time of year,
right.
they may have a 2 o'clock wedding, they may have a 6 o'clock wedding, they might be double booked, but now they're trying to plug in a 10 o'clock wedding.
Yeah.
But my staff can't do
Right.
from 10 until midnight tonight. So,
Bring in your staff.
so maybe some staff will come over.
Right.
So I'm sure they figured out all those logistics.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's just an impressive model in today's day and age where everything's bad news. I think
Yeah.
this was a little bit of a sad moment, but really the group is rising to the occasion, and I give them a lot of
fantastic.
credit for that.
All right. In other news, let's see what you think about this one. Governor Dan McKee has signed a bill into law. It's going to reduce the fee for a driver privilege card that's used by illegal immigrants as an alternative to a driver's license. So if
How much was it originally?
It was originally $50, and they lowered it to $25, which says it brings it in line with the cost charged for you to renew your license.
What does it cost me to get my license in the first place? I wonder. Is it any different than what it is to renew it?
I think initially, well, every state's different.
I mean, if it cost me $50 to initially get my license, then why is this a problem in the first place? But if it's only $25, and I've only renewed my license for a long time now.
But why is it a driver privilege card? Why not, if we're just going to do this, why not just give them a driver's license?
I was just going to ask you that.
Yeah, I think it's that political technicality that they're trying to,
Define
this is not the driver's license is a I don't know, is a document that
It's a
I think
federal
is
It's a federal document,
right?
And so this isn't.
This is more of a state recognition of people who are here that need to get their documentation in order, but in the meantime are working and contributing to society and paying taxes and
Are they?
Well, yeah. Actually, surprisingly enough,
Yeah.
I was surprised at how many people here undocumented will actually file taxes because those two agencies don't talk to each other.
Yeah.
So they can file taxes, they can earn money, they get a paycheck. They have there's a couple of different identification sources. The matricular consular card, I think, is Mexican. That is the identification that you could get. They are here now. Now they're giving people the chance to drive legally on the roads and therefore get insurance. And so there's just, there's some things about doing it that make sense. The skeptics out there will say that it's so that they can get people to vote and register to vote, and then they'll all vote Democratic, and then everything will be liberal, and then the whole world will fall down. That's one side of the argument, right? But the reality is they're just trying to throw a little equity in there, and as long as it's in line with what everybody else is paying for a driver's license, I don't really think there's a problem.
All right, then. It's David Cicilline's last day on the job. Mm-hmm. And he's helping here in Rhode Island, but he's flying to Washington because he wants to vote on the debt ceiling bill. Mm-hmm. He's leaning towards voting yes. He doesn't like it.
Nobody likes it.
Well, nobody likes it. That's right.
That's the thing, nobody likes it.
So it looks like he's voting yes. Do you know what he's going to make as the CEO of the
I
Rhode
saw
Island
that.
Foundation?
Like $650, doesn't it?
It is $650,000.
But that's less than the
Is it
CEO
less?
that's leaving. That's what
Is
I
it?
heard.
But
Yeah,
it's
Neil
more than what
Steinberg
he
was-
was making
It's
as a
more, obviously,
congressman,
more than he
right?
was making in office. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
I know.
Like
I don't blame him. It was a good
650.
pivot.
Well, he probably,
right.
he just, I mean, you hate to say it, he went to Congress thinking that he was going to be able to make change. He hasn't been able to make change.
Everyone
He's lost
thinks
a little
that.
ground in his party, I think, in terms
Yeah.
of leadership. And now that they're not in power in the House, he just even sees less power. He's probably frustrated and says, "I'm out." I just wish he did it before the election and
Yeah.
not
Yeah, I agree
and
with
not
that.
2 months after we reelected him to Congress and then he
Right.
had to leave. But
Well,
he'll be fine as long as
And,
he
How
can
old
keep
is
it.
he?
Ooh, that's a great question. I don't
Might be
know.
near 60 or a little less.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's that too. This is a great pivot into a very secured organization
Right.
that is a well-oiled machine. I mean, how much is he really going to be managing? Let's be
His
honest.
responsibility would be raise money.
Yep, and
And
that's it.
decide who gets the
Handshake.
grants.
Yep.
I think they have a big
that's
committee for that.
I was
I'm
going
not
to
sure
say
it
there's
should
a
be
huge
there.
allocation.
Yeah,
committee for that.
I don't
Right.
think he's got much to do with
No.
that at all.
No, I think
And,
you're right. He's the evening event handshaker
Right.
type
He's the
face.
Kinda
face,
what he
he's
does
the face
now.
of the organization.
Kind of what he
Ra-
does now.
raising money.
Exactly.
And Elizabeth Warren up in Mass, she doesn't like the debt ceiling bill either. She's more not happy that you actually have to work to get your benefits, which really bugs her.
Can't stand Liz Warren. Sorry. There's my political statement
that's
for the
her-
day. I'm putting
her-
a
I
stake in the
think
ground
someone
there.
needed to say it. Is that controversial? I feel like working for the benefits needed to be said.
I think that's a good thing.
And I think people need those companies like
Right.
ours that are struggling with employment right now.
Right.
And yeah, I feel like, it's a thing. It needs to
you're-
happen. It's
you know-
not favorable and it's not, I know it makes it seem like we're bad people and we're mean people and not considerate and compassionate for those that are struggling. But
Yeah, but we're
you
not
need to
talking
be
about those.
motivated to get
We're not
back
talking
for
about those
benefits.
struggling. We're talking about
Young
those
and-
lazy.
If you're young and
Well,
single,
right. So you said what I was thinking, but I
Right. I think there's a lot of people out there who just, I don't want to work. So I'm
Yeah.
going to just take
Agree.
the benefits and I'm going to
I
work.
agree, and I
Now,
think you need to set the tone with those coming out of college right now too, that are also starting off very lazy and very entitled and very and just not motivated to work. Setting a tone very early on that you need to work for your benefits and you
Right.
can't just
sit around.
Yeah.
and have it handed to you.
right.
Right.
All right, we're going to take another break here on the Coffee and Program. So, Tim, time for your second message, please, from Navigant Credit Union.
The Embark account, folks, we've talked about it a little bit on the show. It is designed for the self-made teen. And what that means is if you've got a young person in your life who you'd like to help learn about financial literacy and about what the importance of managing your money and saving money and spending it in the right way, then the Embark account is for you. It has a lot of great features to it. Comes with a debit card, which your young person can actually personalize if they'd like. The Embark account also allows access to online banking, use of the mobile app, and this is all from 13 years old up to 22. And those formative years, 13 to 18 years old, that's a real important time to teach your kids good financial habits that they'll have for the rest of their lives. When your teen turns 18, they're going to have the ability to use a few extra services like bill payment and automatic check deposit or a mobile check deposit. So there's some features that will come into play as they age into them a little bit. Again, just kind of layering in the different responsibilities that they have and the services that are available to them as they grow. So Embark account, it's just like any other account at Navigant Credit Union. It's a $10 charge to get in there, a $10 deposit to be made in the account, and then you are well on your way to teaching your young person good financial habits. Embark for the self-made teen.
Very good, Tim. More of Coffee In is coming up. Please stick around.
Delicacies from the deep is what you'll find at Wilfred Seafood. Lobsters, shrimp, steamers, cod fillets, and more tasty seafood is what you'll encounter at Wilfred Seafood. If you can't catch your dinner yourself, the next best thing is picking up the freshest seafood at Wilfred Seafood. They guarantee that you'll be satisfied. Check out the Wilfred Seafood Facebook page to see the constantly changing specials they offer. Wilfred Seafood, 805 Cumberland Hill Road, Woonsocket.
Attention bike riders. The premier event of this young season is being organized for June 3rd. It's the first annual Veterans Charity Motorcycle Run brought to you by New Englanders Helping Our Veterans in collaboration with the Elks Riders of Elks Lodge number 2136 in Franklin. The ride starts and ends at the Franklin Elks Lodge and travels through Rhode Island as well. Food will be served upon return and beverages will be available. Only $25 per operator, $10 per rider. To sign up, email treasurer@nehov.org. That's treasurer@nehov.org. All are welcome.
You can depend on us for public service. ON Radio.
Coffee In on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with Melissa Smith and Tim Draper as well. So, Melissa, you're in good company.
Oh.
Aaron Rodgers was spotted at the Taylor Swift show this past weekend at MetLife Stadium down there in New Jersey. He's a big Swiftie, apparently. So he went with his wife and another actor.
Did he get married?
Well,
Did I miss that?
well, wait a
I
minute.
didn't know you got married.
Maybe it's the actor's wife.
Maybe.
It says Aaron Rodgers attended with actor Miles Teller.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
and his wife.
Okay, that
so
makes
it's the
sense.
actor's wife.
Yeah.
Okay. He's a big Swift fan. Quote, truly a master entertainer and an epic human.
I don't know if epic human is the right word, but master entertainer I would agree with.
Well, you're not a
100%.
Swiftie.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
we are.
Those
We
are
all
fighting
believe
words.
she's
We
an
have to
epic human.
Take him out and flog him. Those are fighting words, Tim. So Rodgers also thanked security and the fans he met at the show. So
Yeah.
There you go. Well, he's going to be a Jet this year, so.
that's right. So he's getting used to the lay of the field,
Aaron
right?
and the Jets.
I feel bad. There's
clever.
so many other performers that are doing a concert circuit right now. You know, you've got Beyonce on the road and a few
Yeah.
others. But I don't know about your feed on any of your social media accounts, but I mean, mine is just loaded with video clips of Taylor Swift's concert. And maybe it's because, you know, you hit one or two and then you're going to be
Get 'em all
flagged.
more.
Maybe that's the case, but I just feel like this has been going on now for the last 3 months. It's just.
We just had it was a story a couple days ago from StubHub, and it's who's selling the most tickets, and it's Taylor as number one, Beyonce second, and there's Morgan Wallen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
country
oh,
singer.
country.
She's third, and then
He.
it's a he.
He.
Oh,
Morgan
is it?
Wallen is a he.
I
Is
think
it?
so.
Oh, I thought it was a woman. I thought they said it was a woman. I didn't know. Anyway, well, that
I've
screws
heard
up
the
the-
name.
There's
Anyway.
a couple of Morgans out there, but I thought that one was a he.
Springsteen Bruce comes in at fourth. But Toyota's just, and they said the women are just outselling the guys
Yeah.
for concerts for this summer. So it's just
We
crazy.
got a couple more
like that.
concerts coming up that are just country performers, and my daughter is going to
okay.
a Hosier,
It is?
Hosier.
Oh, okay.
Hosier. That one's the. But I just feel like a lot of people are catching on, like us, as well as a family. More experiences, just like getting out there and doing things versus just buying stuff that you don't need.
Here's a shirt.
You know, I'd rather give tickets and
Yeah.
have moments.
This guy, Morgan Cole Wallen,
Yeah.
American country singer. He was originally on The Voice.
Oh,
He was
right,
on Usher's
yeah.
team.
He
Yeah.
was also
Oh.
very controversial. He had some not good things in the news a year
In his
ago.
life. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Which we won't get into.
both Splash Mountains are now closed. They closed the one at Disney World a while ago.
Yeah.
The one in Disneyland is closing this week.
Are they permanently closing them?
No, they're just repurposing it, and it'll now be called Tiana's Bayou Adventure.
So the
And you
slides,
need-
the water slides are still a water park.
The actual ride is going to be exactly the same.
Okay.
Log ride, up and down the
Yeah.
big hill. That stays the same. It's just
Oh,
everything.
that's right.
everything
I'm sorry. I'm
inside.
thinking of the water park. That's an idiot I am.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking of the water park. No, you're right. Splash Mountain. Yeah.
So Tiana's Bayou Adventure is from Disney's the Princess and the Frog.
right?
Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
I have.
I like that one.
I did too.
It's cute. I always root for the Shadow Man.
The funny thing is the whole thing was based on
The original?
the original
Song of the South.
Song of the South, which I don't think anybody ever saw.
No, because it's from the 40s.
Right. I don't ever remember seeing the Song of the South. I just remember Zippity Doo Dah's the only song I remember
Yeah.
from that whole thing.
And they played it in the
Right,
ride.
1,000
but,
times. It was great.
but they're rechanging it, so no more Splash Mountain. And if you watch real quick, because Disney's running TV commercials right now about all their thrill rides, they don't show Splash Mountain at all.
Yeah.
They show the new Tron.
Right.
Space
Well, I can't
Mountain,
wait
of
for that one.
course.
That's gonna be
Tron's up and running.
Yeah, I can't
So
wait
I go ride that one.
How
Looks like
how
fun.
long is it going to be down for? Do you know? Did it say?
They
in the
both
article?
say that both Tiana's Bayou Adventure are expected to open in next year, sometime in 2024.
Yeah.
So they're working on it because they got to get all new animatronics and all new songs. And
The one I wish they'd fix is this Carousel of Progress, for God's sake.
I like the Carousel of
I
Progress.
do. It's time to fix that.
It is time to update
Time
it.
to update
though.
it.
That's a
A lot of progress
necessary
happened.
rest and air conditioning. That is
Yeah.
what
Oh,
that
I
is.
know.
That's a great
The-
10 minutes.
It's true.
and comfy seats.
The best time is when we went and we always used to go in July because that's when my wife was done school, so we could go in July. And we went down and got stuck in the Carousel of Progress and saw the same scene 6 times. Same song. It was like ink, ink.
That's so funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated.
that
And then the show would start.
The show would start. Keep
right.
going.
6 times we were stuck on like the 1940s, I think, with the wires hanging in the
Yeah.
ice box and all that
I
other
feel
stuff.
like I can smell that ride.
Oh, you can.
like there's
'cause
a
it's
specific-
so musty.
Yes, there's like an air conditioning smell.
Right. It's because
in there.
everybody who was sweating like a pig from outside goes into the thing to get cooled down. And it's just
It can take so many
That's
people.
right.
right. Oh, it's just.
I always grabbed
awful.
a snack and ate it on that ride.
I know.
So, yep.
But that was like one of the first Disney rides.
It was at the World's
Fair,
Fair.
yeah.
That's right.
There-
They just had an issue down there that I read about. Someone got into a fight, a tourist, someone visiting, with a cast member on the People Mover.
I wish it was Gaston, and then it really just beat the crap out of the guy. But whatever.
Well, no, it was a woman that was a cast member. It got into a fight with a mom. I'm not sure if any fisticuffs were thrown. The problem was, okay, the People Mover is 4 cars linked together.
Okay.
You can only fit so many people
It's like
in the
4
car,
people a
like
car.
4 people
Right.
in a car. Well, she's there with her family, extended family. Well, they took up all the cars. She was gonna have to wait for the next train to come along, and she got mad. No, she tried to squeeze in with someone else, and they said you can't do that.
Yeah,
Which now a fight ensues.
of course, because we have no patience. In
No,
Disney, the happiest place on
I was
earth.
going to say,
know.
who can be that angry in Disney? Who can be
A
that
parent
angry?
I don't
of an infant.
And you know what? Sometimes you want a little space from that family.
I know.
If
How
you're
great would
going
that
with a big
be?
group, which I did a few years ago with my in-laws,
Right.
I did not get upset when I got bumped to the
To the
to the
next
next
ride.
row in Slinky Dog. I was like, "That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm volunteering. It's okay."
it's all gonna be the same
I
ride.
mean, and
Wait
not
for
a-
me at the end.
A little space
Worked out
sometimes
nice.
is necessary.
Slinky Dog's a fun ride.
It is a fun
It is.
ride.
That is fun. The times I've been there, I've never seen a fight. I've never seen anybody get ugly.
I haven't. I've
in
seen kids
Disney
melt
World.
down, but
That's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen parents yelling at their kids.
Right.
And it's always that's why I always said to my kids when we were there, this is why we didn't bring you when you were 4,
Oh yeah.
because you would have acted like that. Now,
Yes.
now let's cruise through Fantasyland and get to the good rides.
Yeah.
Let's get the Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's right. So a man decided hey, there's a good idea. I'm going to steal that bulldozer and take it for a ride. And this happened down in Virginia.
If
Oh,
you'll
boy.
top speed of 7 miles an hour.
27-year-old suspect stole the bulldozer from a construction site near the Virginia State University, near the multi-purpose center. And so he rammed into a VSU police car, hit a building, hit parking signs, hit light poles, trees, and hit a nearby church.
Well, if you're
Maybe
going
you
to
just
steal
don't know
it,
how
you
to
should
drive
know how
this
to
thing.
drive it.
You should know how to drive this
You
thing.
want to learn how to drive it while you're stealing it.
What's this thing do?
Yeah. Oh, that drops the blade. Oh,
He did.
look,
He
right out
did
of the
push.
car.
He did push the police car across the street, causing the car to flip over.
Well,
So there's a lot of damage right
that's
there.
one mistake he made.
He was eventually arrested, and he's now being held without bond. So you
See,
can't do that.
idiots like that are taking up spots in jails. The guy in Fall River.
That's a good
right, You know
point.
what I mean?
That's a good point.
So stop being stupid. Again, that is our message every week. I feel like we come back with.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
So what else? What do you think happened?
That could
in
be your
this-
closing line
Don't
every
be
week.
Stupid.
Thanks for having me, Joe. Don't be stupid, everyone.
Well, what do you think happened? What else is going on here? A Central Ohio Transit Authority bus driver is facing charges after he allegedly beat a man who fell asleep on his bus. So he's driving the bus.
Yeah.
Passenger falls asleep. The bus driver beats up the guy that's asleep.
Why would you do that?
Well, the incident happened. 63-year-old man fell asleep on the bus, missed his stop, and then he asked the bus driver for directions. The bus driver declined to offer directions, which led to the man cursing at him, leading to the altercation outside the bus. You want to step off? Yeah. So let's get to a fight.
Why wouldn't you just give the guy directions?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Now
We
security.
don't know enough about. I feel like, what if the guy that fell asleep was really passed out, like drunk? Maybe there was some.
Maybe.
I mean, there had to have been other.
Now, security footage from the cameras on the bus shows the bus driver punching the man to the ground and then kicking him repeatedly.
All right, so that's too far.
So he'll be back in court on June 9th. And
Maybe one punch would have been a release of
Push
frustration,
him off the
but
bus.
it doesn't say how old the bus driver is. The man that got punched is 63.
Well,
So
there's a lot of
something else is going.
in-shape 63-year-old
Something
men.
else is going on there, and you just don't know what happened.
That
so.
is that is
it's
journalism
such a
these
teaser.
days.
You give all these teasers, and
I
we're
know,
like, we
well,
really
they-
don't know. We
they-
want
That's the
more.
headlines. They
Give
want-
us
it's
a little more
clickbait.
juice.
All it's clickbait.
Clickbait.
I only got. This is actually longer than most. I usually get 5 sentences. So that's what happened there. We got to run. Community Care Alliance is coming up
Oh,
next.
yeah.
So Tim Draper, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks, Joe, for having me, and everybody enjoy this clear God-given day.
All right, very good, Melissa. Thanks for coming in.
Good to see. Don't be stupid. I was testing it out. How did it sound?
I
We gotta
like
tweak
it.
it a little bit. But
I
it's
feel
not
like
bad.
I can't represent
I
St.
like
Antoine
it.
community with a closing
saying,
line
"Don't
like
be
that. Have a great day. We'll
Make
see you
great
next
choices,
week.
everyone.
There
Make
you-
great choices.
there
I
you
like
go.
that better.
All right, this is Joe Callahan. Have a great day, everyone. And yes, Community Care Alliance is next, followed by Do You Remember Gary Smith and the Crew at 9:30.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. Well, it was a busy Memorial Day holiday weekend for Rhode Island State Police. 30 people were arrested for DUI. Troopers issued 740 tickets for a variety of traffic violations, and they responded to nearly 70 automobile crashes. The latest price for a gallon of gas at the pump in Rhode Island is $3.51. Yes, that's up.